Hey everyone, Kevin here, and welcome back to my channel. So, I've said many times before that education is reaching a breaking point due to teacher attrition and an incredible lack of recruitment, which is what our podcast was originally founded on. But the thing which I wanted to highlight today is one that's not often said as much as it should: the fact that teaching is now seen as and is a dead end job. And I've mentioned this in previous videos as well, but there's more to say about it now because of the lack of interest in the profession as a whole. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics even released a study during 2024 that showed the teaching profession is suffering from its lowest level of employment in the last half century. It went on to say that interest in education among high school seniors and freshman college students has fallen at least 48% since 1990 and 40% since 2010. Worse still, between 2006 and 2021, there were 100,000 fewer people earning teacher certifications each year. Not total, 100,000 every year. Add on top of that the reality of rock bottom job satisfaction in education, and it's no wonder we began an inevitable march toward the crisis we're in now. I'm glad the study said what I've been saying too, that the pandemic didn't cause any of this. It just accelerated a downward trend that has been going on since the turn of the century. They even say in the freaking study that this should be a cause for national concern, yet still somehow no one with any political capital wants to do anything about it. But relating this to my point of teaching being a dead end job, this atmosphere is what is making people not stay in the profession or enter it either. They see how bad it is and how teaching isn't the rewarding career that it used to be. It's not normal to get hired for a job and be expected to do the same thing for 40 to 50 years. Human beings grow, mature, and have differing interests as they get older. But teaching is fundamentally stifling because it ignores that. There is literally zero job growth in education. You teach the same thing your entire career and never really get a chance to advance yourself. I remember back when I was interviewing for teaching jobs that I would ask what kind of professional development opportunities that the district had, and only received token responses at best. Why? Because they don't actually care about your growth, only how you impact the district's bottom line by passing students on even if they aren't ready and having their butts in seats for funding purposes. It's become a very standardized and sanitized way of going about education in recent years, and is why they don't want new ideas, just for you to uphold their ideas or whatever curriculum fad they're promoting this school year. That decreasing autonomy, by the way, is yet another reason why teachers are driving into brick walls and not growing in their jobs. It's kind of hard to pursue our passions or teach students the way we want to anymore because we're forced to cover a specific set of curriculum in specific ways that may not actually be best for students. Plus, it's incredibly boring for teachers too who never get to innovate. Not only do teachers never really get to grow in their job or try new things, the only way to get a quote promotion is to either become a program supervisor or an administrator, which requires you to spend more of your own already declining salary that isn't keeping pace with inflation, or take out even more loans, to obtain new certifications and degrees. And even then, those aren't really promotions. We're not able to seek out more competitive compensation or switch employers to find a higher paying job because none of that exists. All you get is a new title with more work and very little actual change in pay or status. My last year of teaching, I was made an AVID coordinator, which came with loads more work and responsibilities as I was overseeing an entire program and its budget. I had to do countless hours more work on my own time and received less than an extra $500 a semester for it. Same goes for people who volunteer to be department chairs and get nothing but more work and meetings out of it. The stipends are pitiful, and we feel like we're taken advantage of rather than being given actual room for advancement. And almost all teachers feel this way. Everything is a lateral move with no real compensation instead of moving up. It's boring, uninteresting, and frankly stifling. Once I left teaching and saw how most businesses actually operated, I found so much more flexibility and growth opportunities that I never would have had as a teacher, partly because they would have discouraged me from doing them. I've felt more professionally and intellectually stimulated in my post teaching career than I ever did in the classroom. Looking back with that 2020 hindsight, I can see how much I was stuck in a rut the entire time. I always chased those fascinating conversations I had during my undergraduate studies with my own students, and though I got close to that a few times, the reality that I was never really the one in control of my own future or classroom was always lurking behind the next corner. And young teachers who want to bring new ideas into the classroom are constantly left frustrated by what they want to accomplish versus what they're allowed to accomplish. It's why the burnout and attrition rates have lowered to people leaving within the first 2 years now instead of the first five as it was in past decades. Just watch my video on how student teaching is a scam to show how that burnout is reaching people before they ever obtain their credentials now. But what's my ultimate point about this, though? Well, let me put it like this. Teachers lack the structure and career development inherent in other industries, and this has frankly led to a very broken education system that disincentivizes talent. In the long run, this leads to not only stagnation, but a lack of diversity in ideas, hence the standardization we have now. Education doesn't operate on the basic principle of rewarding talent for positive and sustained performance. Instead of actual compensation, we get a thank you note, a donut, a pizza party, or a coupon that allows us to wear jeans for a day. Seriously. That doesn't pay the bills or make anyone feel like they're appreciated for the work they put in on a daily basis. With the lack of growth opportunities in this career, is it any wonder that recruiting and maintaining a diverse teacher workforce is an issue for our schools today? Teachers aren't taken seriously as professionals and are instead seen as martyrs, or the one I was always called a saint, for dealing with kids in the poor working conditions. Honestly, the way we're talked to and about is really patronizing, and yet people still wonder why teachers are leaving and not entering the profession. How about we reward people and give them ways to grow both personally and professionally? Give teachers upward mobility and make them feel like their efforts aren't being wasted. Don't overwork teachers and make them feel like they're stuck in a dead end job that will never get better. I don't know about you, but it seems pretty simple to me. But I think I'll wrap up there for today. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all of my content. And as always, I've been Kevin, and I will see you in the next video.